and take all the details when, in fact, a parable is simply one big idea. It's just one big idea when it's properly, when we get the author's intent. Why did Jesus tell this parable? What was Jesus' intent in telling this story? What was he trying to say? What was he trying to point out? Well, when we ask that question, that doesn't mean they're not incidentals. That doesn't mean that it's improper to take a few of the incidental points out of it. But the proper interpretation of a parable is one big idea. In the parable that is before us, the one that is aptly titled The Prodigal Son, and I am going to preach, that is aptly titled, titled The Prodigal Son, we often like to focus on the son that left home. But the truth of the matter is that the parable is not about the son that left home. The parable is about the son that stayed. Am I making any sense this evening? As a matter of fact, let me tell you something, take it a little bit higher in it. Actually, the three stories, the lost sheep, the lost coin, and the lost son, are really all one parable. Just one parable, if you will. Again, whenever you see a parable, and this applies to any parable, it is one big idea. Jesus is only trying to tell you one point. And we do that all the time. We tell our little children stories. Don't we do it? And when we tell them those stories, we're only trying to get them to see one thing. You ought to wait your turn. You ought to share what you have with others. You ought to not lie. We tell one such story. One such story is the story about where we talk about the guy that I can't hardly remember, that would tell fibs and keep on telling fibs. What is the wolf? What is it? Yeah, the little boy that cried wolf. That's what I'm trying to think of. We would tell them about the little boy that cried wolf. And when we tell them tell them that story, we tell them this elaborate story, not to make a whole bunch of details in it. Not for them to go in and examine the wolf. Not for them to go in, but to make one single point, and that point is, don't lie. Lying will get you in trouble. Now you see where I'm going this evening. So, first of all, the first key to interpretation of a parable is this. The first tenet that I want to point out is that the key is at the door. The key is at the door. When you look at the parable, you need to look at the situation that was going on right before Jesus told the parable. And the situation will give you a clue as to what Jesus is saying.